I'm 85 years old, and I've been sitting with this truth for a long time. I lost my children one small decision at a time, and now there isn't much time left to pretend otherwise. I'm not telling this to be forgiven. I don't need comfort. I'm telling it because when you get this old, the noise falls away, and what's left is very clear. The days are quieter. The phone doesn't ring the way it used to, and the memories come back without asking. Most mornings now, I wake up before the sun. My body does that on its own. I sit at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee I barely finish. The house is clean because no one messes it up. It's quiet because no one lives here but me. Sometimes I try to remember the sound of my children laughing in this place, and it takes longer than it should. When I was younger, I didn't think like this. I didn't think much at all about endings. I thought in schedules and responsibilities. I thought in next weeks and next years. I assumed there would always be more time to fix things. I had my first child in my late 20s. I was working constantly then. I told myself it was necessary. We needed stability. We needed savings. I needed to be dependable. Those were the words I used. They sounded responsible. They sounded right. When my daughter wanted me to come to her school play, I said I'd try. I meant it. But work ran late and traffic was bad. And by the time I arrived, it was over. She was standing outside with the other parents holding a paper crown. She didn't cry. She just said, "It's okay." I believed her. My son liked to sit on the floor and build things. Little cities out of blocks. He would ask me to sit with him. I would say, "In a minute." That minute often turned into an hour. By then, he'd moved on. I didn't think that mattered. Children are flexible, I thought. They understand. There were dinners I missed, birthdays where I was present but distracted, conversations I postponed because I was tired. I told myself I was doing my best. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't absent completely. I was just busy. As they got older, gap widened quietly. They stopped asking as much. I noticed, but I didn't panic. Teenagers pull away. Everyone says that. It's normal. I let myself off the hook easily. When my daughter went to college, we hugged awkwardly. I felt proud. I also felt relieved. Less responsibility. That thought still makes me uncomfortable to admit. We talked on the phone sometimes, short calls, polite updates. I assumed closeness would return later when life slowed down. My son stayed closer for a while. We'd watch television together without saying much. I mistook proximity for connection. I didn't ask him hard questions. I didn't push. I didn't want conflict. Peace felt easier. The years passed the way they do. Fast when you're in them. My marriage didn't survive. That's another story, but it's tied to this one. We both chose practicality over presence. By the time we noticed the emptiness, it had already settled in. The damage didn't arrive all at once. There was no explosion, just erosion. Phone calls became holidays only. Holidays became cards. Cards became nothing. The turning point came when my daughter got sick. I heard about it from someone else first. That should have told me everything. I visited the hospital and sat beside her bed, unsure where to put my hands. She was polite, kind even. That kindness hurt more than anger would have. She recovered. Something didn't. I saw clearly then how little of her life I knew. I didn't know her friends. I didn't know what she feared. I didn't know how to reach her. My son moved across the country not long after. He said it was for work. I believed him. Or maybe I just didn't ask enough questions to hear the real answer. Now, years later, one of them is gone. I won't go into details. It doesn't matter how. What matters is that death makes everything final. There is no catching up, no long conversations waiting in the future, no fixing the tone of your voice or choosing better words next time. What can't be fixed is the absence I left behind, the empty spaces where I should have been, the trust that faded slowly because I kept choosing later instead of now. I have photos. They smile in them. People think photos tell the story. They don't. They show moments, not what was missing between them. If you're listening to this and you still have your children, or someone who wants your attention, I won't tell you what to do. I only know what I thought back then. I thought being responsible would make up for being absent. I thought love was something they would just feel, without me having to show up fully. I was wrong about that. Love needs time. Not someday time, ordinary time. Sitting on the floor, showing up even when it's inconvenient. Listening even when you're tired. I don't say this with bitterness. I say it with clarity. At 85, clarity comes whether you want it or not. My days are simpler now. I water the plants. I read the paper. I think about the sound of my children's voices and try not to rewrite the past in my head. Some things have to be left as they are. If this meant something to you, you don't need to say anything. Just sit with it for a moment. That's enough. I don't have many years left. I've made peace with that. What I haven't made peace with is how quietly a life can slip past you while you're busy doing what you think is right. That's all I wanted to say.